Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Despite my best efforts to change my name to Perennial Whitestrake, the Divine Crusader, since the last video, my producers have forced me to keep it. So, I'm Josh, and I'm here today to give you a fresh dose of cutting-edge content. In today's video, I'll be exploring the world of mobile browsers and ranking them on a tiered scale. This scale goes from S to F, with S being the highest and F being the lowest. Try not to question why S is the highest. I'll be paying particular attention to each browser's features, user experience, and compatibility. Do keep in mind that these rankings aren't necessarily reflective of the browser's quality on desktop devices. The mobile versions have features that aren't available on desktop, and vice versa. Lastly, before we begin, remember to like the video and subscribe for more great content. Without any further ado, let's get into Chrome. Now, everybody knows Google. It's probably your device's default browser already, and if it isn't, it probably should be. Despite all the competition, Chrome is still one of the best and most capable mobile browsers out there, thanks to its neat user interface, intuitive controls and features, and stability across a variety of different devices. Interestingly enough, though other mobile browsers may offer more in terms of features, like a VPN or data saving mode, the mobile version of Chrome is decidedly narrow-minded when it comes to the list of functions it allows users to access. This is in stark contrast to the desktop version of the app, which could almost be considered its own operating system, given the number of features and extensions it provides users with, like ad blockers and VPNs. As a result, users with more eclectic interests and inclinations may find Chrome a bit lacking. After all, some of the features available on desktop, like the aforementioned extensions, aren't available on the mobile version. This severely limits its capabilities, but at least you can open up tabs in their own individual groups. Right? What the mobile version of Chrome does have is everything you need in a mobile browser, including bookmarks, browsing history, data syncing, and even voice search in case you're in a pinch. However, if you want to access other Google services like Gmail or Google Docs, you'd be better off downloading the mobile versions of those apps instead of opening them up in your browser. Look, there's no doubt in my mind that Chrome is still one of the best mobile browsers out there. It's incredibly intuitive and easy to use, and you'll pretty much never have to worry about it crashing while you're watching cute cat videos. Your data is also synced across your devices, allowing you to access your desktop history on your phone and vice versa. All of this contributes to a terrific user experience that's tough to beat. As a result, I'm putting Chrome in the S tier for its practicality and intuitiveness, but the list of features on offer is sorely lacking, to say the least. Let's see if any of the other browsers can fare a bit better. Firefox. Oh, you caught me playing with my Firefox again. I've got to stop doing that on camera. When I was in school, back in my day, the computers didn't have Chrome. They had Firefox. And Internet Explorer, well, the less said about that, the better. Firefox was the real deal. It was a fully customizable experience that allowed me and my friends to get away with some pretty nasty searches. Look at the tail on that one. Luckily, the mobile version is just as capable as the desktop version. Unlike Chrome, which features a fairly plain yet consistent user interface, Firefox lets you customize the app to your liking. Don't like the color of the tabs? Go ahead and change it. Don't want to be bombarded with features? Move everything around or remove some of them from the interface. Ironically enough, however, this level of customization presents a few challenges to new users. Even a basic setup requires plenty of tweaking. Compared to Chrome, which works straight out of the box like an action figure, Firefox is more like a Lego set. Additionally, while the basic version of Firefox is pretty stable, there are a few experimental versions that lack the same level of polish. Additionally, if it's security that you're after, you may want to opt for Firefox Focus instead, which drops some of the customizability in favor of more security options. In terms of specific features, Firefox allows you to organize your tabs into separate groups. Unlike Chrome, which has a similar feature, Firefox also lets you name these different groups, in keeping with their mantra of affording their users as many customization options as possible. Firefox also syncs your data so that you can access these groups and your browsing history on other devices too. Finally, another great feature worth mentioning is Firefox's enhanced tracking protection. You don't need Firefox Focus to access this. It's loaded with every version of Firefox you download, and protects you against crypto mining and fingerprinting trackers, as well as ads and analytics trackers. Now, it's worth mentioning here that Firefox has a separate VPN app that costs $4.99 a month to use. And honestly, there are better VPNs out there. However, while Firefox falters in terms of accessibility, it's still well optimized for most devices, and the broad assortment of features is still more impressive than Chrome's. As a result, Firefox goes in the A tier. I wish it was S though personally, but hey ho. Safari. Wow guys, I've never seen a wild Firefox before. I'm sure glad that I came on this Safari. Hey look, segueing from one section to another is tough, okay? I don't see you guys giving me any better ideas. Comment below. Besides, you didn't think I'd neglect my Apple users, did you? Unlike Android phones, whose default built-in browsers largely suck, to use a technical term, Apple's resident browser is pretty good, by and large. And at the very least, it offers a pleasant experience that's fairly light on features, but heavy on accessibility. Like Chrome, the mobile version of Safari lacks the ability to add extensions, limiting its capabilities. Also like Chrome, Safari allows you to sync your data across all of your devices, allowing easy access to your browsing history, bookmarks, and that sort of thing. Really, the only features that you can expect from Safari are those that are common to pretty much every other mobile browser. It makes up for this lack of functionality by presenting a clean, user-friendly interface that makes heavy use of Apple's trademark minimalism. With all that said, it's easy to think that Safari really falls short when compared to other browsers. However, to Safari's credit, it's incredibly stable and well optimized for mobile devices. For example, mobile users can easily share articles with their contacts, and the app never shows any signs of slowing down or crashing. Additionally, unlike Chrome, Safari comes with a few much-needed privacy features automatically enabled. Still, though I hate to disappoint my Apple buddies, there's nothing truly spectacular or even exciting about Safari. It's perfectly serviceable, even intuitive, but not much else. And for that, I'm relegating it to the B tier. Edge. Ah, here it is, the holy grail of browsers. The one and only, Microsoft Edge. Those of you who've kept up with the channel's lore know that I am a big fan of Microsoft Edge. All 6 of us believe that this browser is the one to end all others. It's a rare specimen, a perfect organism. My precious.
Perfect organism.
Okay, I might be a bit biased here, but you have to admit that the mobile version of Edge is actually pretty impressive, considering almost nobody pays it any attention. For starters, compared to some of the other browsers on this list, Edge has a pretty extensive list of features. You have access to a built-in ad blocker, password manager, tracking blocker, price checker, voice search, and that sort of thing. Edge has also introduced a feature called NewsGuard, which recommends news articles based on their journalistic standards of credibility and transparency. Those are some big words, so I'm pretty impressed already. Of course, we still need to address the elephant in the room. Edge is unfortunately not as well optimized as some of its peers, leading to a frustrating user experience. Additionally, it's one of the slower browsers on this list, downgrading its usability even more. All of this makes for a fairly meh experience, which deeply saddens me and the 4 other Edge fans. The last guy left us for Firefox. I don't blame him. As a result, though, Edge will always have a special place in my heart, so I'm going to place it in the C tier. Opera. This is one of my favourite songs. I'm a highly cultured individual, which is why Opera is last on the list. It's big, bombastic, beautiful, and easily one of the best mobile browsers out there. For starters, in sharp contrast to Chrome, the mobile version of Opera is virtually identical to its desktop counterpart, at least in terms of the variety of features it has on offer. And what a treat some of these features are. A built-in VPN protects your device from malicious software. A data-saving mode that condenses web pages and videos. A one-handed version that makes browsing on the fly that much easier. What's not to love? If those features weren't enough by themselves, they are also a lot more in-depth than those that you might find in other browsers. For example, the VPN gives you a static virtual IP address, which even dedicated VPN services may lock behind a paywall. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some downsides. You can't use the VPN and data saving mode in tandem, and the layout of the app leaves a lot to be desired. By the 9! These menus are giving me a headache. It's a little Elder Scrolls reference for you there. Still, despite its shortcomings, Opera is still one of the best mobile browsing experiences on offer, and one of the fastest too. The only other browser that can outperform it is Chrome. So, in the spirit of that competition, I'm adding Opera to the S tier. I'd love to see Opera improve its user experience in the future, but then I'd have to add a tier above S. As it stands, however, it's good to end the video on a high note. That's not what you meant. Okay, that's it everyone. I hope you enjoyed this ranking. Mobile browsers, and browsers in general, tend to make for some fairly loaded topics. Everyone has their favourites, and your ranking may differ from ours. But we're keen to hear what you think of these browsers, so leave your rankings down in the comments below. However, for the time being, I'm perennial white streak, Josh. You're amazing, and I'll see you in the next video.